guys, so in this video I'm going to go over 5 different things what to look for if you're looking for a W body, whether it's a Grand Prix, Impala, Buick Regal, or Chevy Monte Carlo. Without further ado, let's get into this. So I'm currently driving my 2002 Pontiac Grand Prix GTP with the supercharged 3800 Series 2 V6. I love my Grand Prix. It's my first ever car I ever bought. I bought it with my own money. I think I only paid $1,000 for it. But a couple different things I'm going to go over. One of which is going to be on the drivetrain, the body, as well as some other issues as well that I will also go over. I'll also go over what to look for, how to find it, and I might give you a little bit of pricing on some things too from my own experience. So without further ado, I'm going to go into my filming location and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so I made it to my filming location. So again, we're going to go over 5 different things you need to look for when you're buying a W body. Alright, so there's 5 different things you need to look for when you buy a W body. Grand Prix, Impala, Regal, Monte Carlo, any of them. First thing I always check is for rust. Underneath, rocker panels. Rocker panels on mine are nice and clean. Really clean rocker panels. A lot of times, from pictures, even without looking at the car, the side skirts will be sagging in the center or towards the rear due to rusty rocker panels. As well as another thing, my car's a little dirty, but the next place to look for them would be like right here. A lot of times they rot out all along the bottom of the rocker, on the outer rocker panel specifically. The inner ones are typically okay because they're protected by the outer. Besides rockers, you also want to look out for specifically on 97 to 98. It's 97. Let's see. So another thing you want to look out for is from 97 to, I believe it was 2000, year 2000, you need to look out for strut tower rust. And in the trunk here, right behind the carpet. It's kind of hard to see on mine, but the rockers, or the strut towers, the rear strut towers will tend to rust out on the top. So this is an example of a clean one. Mine's a 2002. 2002 isn't the year that's going to have that problem because it has these inner fender liners that kind of protect the strut tower from rust. One thing I would recommend if you have an earlier car, earlier than 2000, is to go to a pick and pull, get yourself the inner liners, get yourself these liners if you have a clean car. So if you have an earlier car, whether it's a 97 to 2000, Regal, Monte Carlo, Grand Prix, all of them are going to have, they're not going to have this inner fender liner, so I would recommend taking the liner out of a 2001 and newer car to prevent your strut towers from rusting out. On your 97 to 2002 cars, I'd recommend replacing and adding on that inner fender liner for the rear to protect your strut towers. Alright, so underneath the hood of the 3800, underneath the W body, or any 3800 vehicles will apply. A couple things to look out for when you are looking to purchase a car with one is you definitely need to make sure that your oil is not milky. If it's milky, more than likely it is going to be lower intake manifold gaskets, as they are made from plastic from factory. A lot of times people switch them out with metal. The metal ones last so much longer. So to check if you have metal lower intake manifold gaskets, oftentimes it's kind of hard to see on mine. I got so much stuff on the way here. But down in there, you can see the gasket right down in there. Sometimes you can see the gasket. And by that, you could tell if it's metal, should be aluminum, or it's black if it's plastic. You can often tell if you think it's plastic, the gasket material will actually be a little bit thicker. You won't see just a little thin metal piece right down in there where the tip of my fingernail is. So that's one other way to tell if you have metal or plastic lower intake manifold gaskets. All right, so another thing here to check on these besides lower intake manifold gaskets is your coolant elbows. So on a 3800, you'll have a coolant elbow right down in there. If my camera will focus here. Right down in there, it's kind of hard to tell. I'll zoom in a little bit. Right there, you have a coolant elbow. Those are made from plastic. They tend to fail all the time. And when they do fail, you're gonna get coolant everywhere. You're gonna be left stranded on the side of the road. And we don't want that. So if that's plastic, that will also have to be changed out if you decide to purchase the vehicle or not. All right, another item to check when looking for a W body: Grand Prix, Regal, Monte Carlo, Impala, or any other W body for that matter, is going to be your transmission. So when you pull your transmission dipstick on the car you're looking at, check to make sure that it is red in color. Transmission fluid needs to be red. Mine's a little dark and needs to be changed again, but it's not black. It's really hard to tell. Even better method is to use a white paper towel. You shouldn't have anything come off of it. Mine's a little pink. It's a little pink in there. It's slightly tan. So it needs to be changed again. But fluid needs to be pink or tan. It needs to be or slightly on the tan side, but you cannot see any metal. You should not be able to see any metal shavings on your dipstick, because these 4265Es, they are not very, let's say, they're glass. They're made of glass. If you don't change your fluids, they will fail. If you do change your fluids, your fluids, the transmissions will last a long time. This transmission, I bought this car with a bad transmission. Alright, so I bought this car with a bad transmission. The transmission had a failed forward band. I had the transmission rebuilt by a reputable shop. And that was about, I think I paid about $2,400 for transmission rebuild. Right now I'm at 50,000 miles, a little over 50,000 miles on the rebuild. And it's been great so far. It's been holding the power with the intercooler and everything just fine. So I'm not too concerned yet. But if you do look at a car as well with a bad transmission, it only goes in reverse. Chances are it is the forward band. Because I believe between the years of 2000, 2003-ish, they had a pretty good run of bad batch of forward bands on the 4265Es and 4265E HD transmissions. And those are the main problem of why people sell them, is they don't go forward. There's no forward band. The forward band broke. So if you do look for a car, chances are, and it has a bad transmission, chances are that forward band has failed. But as far as engine and transmission reliability concerns, they'll last hundreds of thousands of miles. The 3800 is nearly bulletproof. Apart from the two major issues that I have listed, which is lower intake manifold gaskets, coolant elbows. And the engines overall are reliable, especially the supercharged 3800 is a really good engine as well. Makes a ton of power, well, a ton of torque, should I say. It doesn't make a lot of power. Makes a lot of torque for what it is. And don't get me wrong, it just sounds good. With an intake, it just sounds good. But transmissions, once you do your fluid changes, they last a long time. A lot of times people tend to get 200,000 miles, 250,000 miles out of their 4265E. They're not as bad as people make them out to be. You just have to know how to take care of them. Alright guys, so this concludes my video for you. Short little video for you today. Yeah, those are a couple different things to look out for when you're buying a W body. Or if you're buying a car with a 3800, check a couple of those items I mentioned. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'll talk to you guys later.